Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Dauntless Pursuit. We are your hosts, Armand Shahinian and Marina Nazarbakian, two entrepreneurs who found each other at the gym one day, fell in love, and put the pursuit of their dreams into overdrive. In today's episode, we're joined by Chris Tatted Luera. From bad boy to success story, he emerged from a troubled youth painted with violence and drugs to become a successful author, three-time middleweight world champion of the WCL, motivational speaker, and master trainer in calisthenics. His new and improved life takes him all over the world. He's joined us today to share his story with us, how he picked himself up and became the man he is today. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how you doing?
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to dive right in and
Cool.
start. So, can you tell us about the moment in your life when you decided you wanted to change?
Excuse me. Never really had the full idea of I want to change or that I need to change.
Mm-hmm.
My story goes that my biological parents, both my biological parents were both heavy drug addicts, and my biological mother overdosed and died when I was 18 months, about
Oh, wow. You're
2
so young.
2 years, yes.
Yeah.
And my biological father put me up for adoption. He was really strung out and everything. He was not in the place to take care of me or anything, so I ended up in a foster home. My great aunt found out of the situation of my mom passing away and me ending up in a foster home, and she adopted me.
Oh, okay.
It took them a little while, I believe a little over a year.
To do the whole process?
Yes, they were 56, about to be 57 years old when they were starting, and there was a little difficulty about their age and taking in a small child. So it took them a little time, but they adopted me when I was about 3.5, and things were pretty good at that point. I was given another chance, I was given a family of love.
That's awesome.
And it was great until I got a little older and confused of where I came from, who my parents were, and today as a man, as I'm getting older and learning more about mental illness, mental difficulties and everything, just making an assessment of why I took the path that I took, because my parents that adopted me gave me such a great life, and I still chose the wrong way. But at a very young age, I started experimenting with drugs, and that snowballed and took over my life very, very quickly.
Can I ask how old you were?
I was about 10, 11 years old when I started stealing alcohol from the garage and started to feel the buzz, something different. The thing is that I'm ADHD. I was diagnosed ADHD in 2nd grade and put on Ritalin. So substance that alters my mood was introduced to me very, very young.
And I've heard that some bodies just tend to react differently to those things.
Definitely. From the way I was taught about it and everything is that, now I learn more about it. It's pretty much speed. It's ephedrins, it's a stimulant to slow the body down since the body's already so amped up. And as a little kid, 2nd grade, 7 years old, 8 years old, I'm running around 100 miles an hour, doing front flips off the couch, tying the bathroom towel around my neck.
You're slowing down.
Yeah, and then I take this pill, and I'm like, okay, pill. So it was like, even at that age, I was apparent that, okay, I take something and it changes me.
What's your opinion of Ritalin now, with your perspective? Do you think it's something they should be using for kids?
I'm not against it. I think that medications help. I think that medications have come a long way, but the thing is that I don't think that it's a fix-all, which I think that a lot of times the medications are looked at as a fix-all. So that, if we're going to give our kid medication, or if someone's going to take medication, now that the medication's in the scenario, everything is okay.
It's just too easy. There's other options that they don't explore.
Exactly. It takes a lot of work. Alternative ways of no medicine mixed with a little bit of medication if the case is severe. I think every child is a different case.
Yeah.
So, I think that I'm not fully against it, but I'm not for medication. It's definitely not. I just don't take a stance of yes or no. You know, I stand in the middle of. I believe it can help some, and I think that some others are just looking to not put in the work or the time with their child or themselves. If they, you know.
So, you said you pretty much like went down in life, then suddenly you're here, 3 times world champion, and suddenly you're in a totally different world. Just tell people how's that even possible? Like you went to prison, like using drugs, all this stuff. Then suddenly you're totally changed, different man.
Yeah.
How's that possible? How's that motivation like possible? Where is it coming from?
Well, sorry, I don't mean to rant too long on the question, but like you're saying, like when did I decide to change, or when did I recognize change? You know, and the thing is that at such a young age, I started to use drugs, and I was so confused with the pain that I was carrying with my parents. I'll never
recover.
Yeah, I remember being a young kid and watching television shows, like anything, any little shows, and they have a storyline where like an adopted kid like meets their mom years later, and
you just couldn't believe it for yourself. Everything
that's
was
not
a
an option.
movie.
Well,
Yeah,
it
then
was
for
an
you.
option,
Yeah, it was never an option.
And plus your
because
childhood,
they're
I'm
gone.
sure, was different, right? Because your adopted parents are so much older. You're like comparing
Very
yourself
much,
to other kids.
very, yeah. It was hard. You know,
Just
life.
adjust yourself. Yeah.
A childhood is hard. A child going through something is difficult being raised, but it's just there was a lot more added to it.
Yeah.
And since I was so young, when I got wrapped up into drugs and everything, that I started going to jail. Like I got picked up for tagging, vandalism. 11, 12 years old. Already started going to juvenile hall. Started going in and out, and it started so fast that jail. Then my parents sent me to Utah to a boarding school. And as soon as I came back from that, I went back to jail, and it was in and out, drugs, fights, chaos, constant chaos. That I remember at 14, I was about to turn 15 in juvenile hall, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna die in here. This is my life, you know. I came from drug addicts. I'm a drug addict. This is the way it goes. And my mother that raised me and gave me life, she was there for me all the time and listened to me, and when I didn't listen to myself, like in hope, she was telling me and that, look, you can change, like I still hope for you, there's still hope for you. And I kept going to jail, kept doing drugs, didn't believe her, didn't believe...
Something was missing, I think, like something that no matter what or who was saying it, it was still missing, and it couldn't be like replaced. What was missing from your soul, I would say, or from your heart?
There was a hole.
There's no replacement,
There's
there's a huge gap.
I could not find any piece that would fit in there. And my last prison term, I was serving, I got into a riot, and I ended up going to the hole. And I was in the hole, which is a horrible situation, locked in your cell 24 hours a day, shower once every 3 days, go out to the yard once a week for an hour. So a lot of time in your head. And I wrote a letter to my mom, tell her the situation, right? I'm not going to be able to call for a while in the hole, and you know, if you can send me a little money for some deodorant and some food, I'd appreciate it, you know. And I realized that I can count on her, you know. I was a bad person and put myself in prison, right? Taken out of society, put myself in prison. I was a bad person in prison and got put into the hole, prison, and I could still write this lady that I have destroyed. Yeah.
She was a solid foundation on my life.
Solid. She loved me unconditionally. I stole from her, robbed her every single time I got out, lied to her, everything. And I could still write her, call her, and say, hey, I'm in trouble. And she's like,
still would back you up.
Yeah.
It's like true unconditional.
True unconditional. It was just, and I was like, I need to tell her thank you. I needed to tell her that I love her and that I appreciate the years that she has been here for me. I didn't think that I was going to change. I didn't like, oh, I'm going to change and be this different man and all this, I was like, I'm gonna try.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show her that I appreciate her telling me that she believes in me. Even though, because the first time I went to adult prison at 18, I got out. I was out 19 days before I went back to prison for the second time.
Wow.
I got out. I was out 22 days before I went back to prison for the third time.
Wow.
It was chaos, pedal to the metal till I hit the wall. That was my motto. I said that out loud times that I got out of jail. It's pedal to the metal till I hit the wall. I don't care. Chaos, drugs, everything, till I die or that I go back to prison. Whatever.
So were you feeling like you're in peace when you were in a prison? Like were you feeling comfortable or like
Prison.
that is my place? Like
Prison became easy.
okay, that's what was
Like, it was scary at first, right? It was like, but I started at such a young age,
so it was
it
like
became
whatever.
routine.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
What was people's reaction like over there? Like you were young and everybody.
Well,
Like
like
how-
everybody's young, yeah.
yeah. In juvenile hall, it's whatever age to 18.
Mm-hmm.
But I got out in 2008, and the idea was to just tell her thank you. And I appreciate the love, you know. And so I didn't go right back to drugs the moment I got out, and I didn't go back to my neighborhood. So I spent some time with her, you know. And she was like, you know, you need to get a job, go fill out some applications. And so I did that, and I got laughed at pretty much.
That's what happens. Like they don't believe in you, and you still start doubting yourself. Like, hey, I'm trying, but you're laughing at me instead of supporting me.
Definitely.
That's the painful part.
And it was painful, like in myself. Like I started going to jail so young that I didn't graduate anything. I didn't graduate junior high. I didn't graduate high school.
They don't make you like take tests and try to pass or anything when you're there?
In jail, I wouldn't. I took my GED when I was there. It wasn't like forced,
Oh, okay.
but no, it's not like, oh, you want to get out of jail, you have to do this with your time.
They
or
don't
anything like
encourage it.
that. In juvenile hall, you have to go to jail. I mean, you have to go to school. Like it's a requirement of juvenile hall, but.
I mean, the mind
It's
is
a
not
joke.
there. Yeah, it's a
The
joke.
teachers, like, you might come across one or two teachers that are there because they're like, I have a passion. You know, all the way else is like understand, and it's not that like I'm judging any of the teachers or anything. It's just that like the rest of them understand what the reality of their situation is.
Yeah.
They're all gang members. They're all kids. It's chaos in juvenile hall. Like I went to county jail and prison, and it's much more organized than juvenile hall. You got a bunch of kids that going through puberty and don't know what their life is, and
I mean, like, you would think you'd be able to make most impact the younger they are. I would think so, at least. Like, I would feel like you're more impressionable and you've had
Definitely.
less time out in the real world, so to speak, to harden you up even more.
definitely, they're much more impressionable, and that's the thing that's really hard about it because you have so much that you can touch right inside. Let's say that if you're a teacher in juvenile hall, you're seeing this kid 2 hours a day for X amount of months. His neighborhood, his gang, his big homies or whatever were right around the corner. They're his neighbors since he was 3. So that's the reason why he's at 9 years old, 12 years old, 14 years old, carrying a gun, selling drugs, doing some type of crime, and now he's found himself in this situation, and it's hard to now impression that kid into a different way because the ones that have already molded him
I see what you're saying.
are
The mindset is already like somewhere else, so just distracting that person from there to here.
yeah.
Like you said, someone should be super passionate. Like, I want to teach these kids like great things.
It's it's cheesy as it sounds, but like stand and deliver, you know, it has to be a teacher in that way of dangerous minds.
Right.
You know,
I think like the kids over there, they're like already laughing at that person, and they're like you ain't
Definitely.
yeah,
I was
in
that
our-
kid.
You're like,
I was
hey,
that
just
kid.
like shut up, like you're not in our like level.
Nobody can
just
tell
get
me
out.
anything. Teachers, my own family, nobody. There was nothing they could. So, change was never.
It wasn't like
day.
an aha moment or a light bulb
no.
going off.
If there was any aha moment, it was that time that I was in the hole, and I had the aha moment of, I gotta give back. Like I've been taken for so long, I gotta at least
Do something.
Yeah, I gotta at least say thank you. You know, I mean, like, well, what am I gonna feel about myself? I was like, I already accepted that I was gonna die in there. I was like, I thought that I was gonna die an old man in prison, or that I was gonna get out of prison when, you know, like on one of these times that I get in and out and end up getting shot or something in the street. That was my fate. That's what I thought.
So would you say then that's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy? They say, like, if you tell yourself that's what's going to happen, then you end up back there, and then as soon as you stop telling yourself it's going to happen or focusing on it, things started to change, or no?
Yeah, because the thing is that, like, I did very much have that mindset that I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna die in here, this is me, like, pedal to the metal till I hit the wall, right? So, like, only thing is coming back if I'm thinking I'm gonna go out and do as much crime as I can. So I only leave myself with one option. And when I got out with the idea of trying to give back to my mother, it very much did change the mindset. And
your energy shifted focus. Yeah.
Definitely. And it gave me that little bit of time to allow the ball to be formed, and then for it to be nudged off the hill. And then once things started to go a little bit, my mom was just happy. She expressed to me, like, joy.
So she was the only supportive person that you had, right?
My mom and dad. Both of them were
super supportive.
Super supportive. Like, I love my family. I love my entire family. My brother, my sister. They're my adopted brother and sister, but they're my brother and sister.
It shouldn't be blood. It's just a feeling. Like, it's not. You're not related. Yeah.
But over the years, they kind of fell off from my support, or being supportive, and I don't judge them or in any way, because when you see a kid go to jail at 11 and you're like, oh man, he's probably gonna be scared, he's probably maybe change, and then you see that bad behavior progress into more and more and more, it's like, and then at the same time you see that child, his attitude and everything progress worse, and the pain and the cause and the things that you're doing, that I was doing to their mother, their father, then, you know, it makes sense, you know, like, for them to say, hey man, you guys gotta back off, you gotta let it go, let that kid do his thing, because he's clearly
not gonna change.
He's not gonna change.
But so you got out, it's been like 11 years already, right?
Yeah, I got out in 2008.
Then you said you started applying for jobs and they were laughing at you. I mean...
Well, that's the they're laughing, like, the thing is, I found out a lot about myself and about the situation, society, everything, the situation about a parolee, about a guy coming out of jail. Because I never applied myself to parole and programming and trying to change. It was like, get out, I'll check in with my PO just so I don't get a warrant in the first 3 days, and I can then go do drugs and do all this stuff. That was it.
Right.
But now going in and be like, okay, I gotta get a job and this stuff, understanding that I had no confidence in myself. I walk a prison yard with my head held high.
Okay.
And I would be not afraid, you know, if there's a riot, I'm ready for it. Let's do it. I don't care. I'm not scared. But to walk in the subway and look a 17-year-old kid directly in the eye and say, oh, are you guys hiring? I couldn't do it. I couldn't look a 17-year-old kid in the eye.
Because, okay, I understand. You didn't have the confidence.
I didn't have the confidence in myself. I didn't have the belief. I didn't have anything. I had no resources from all of my decisions going in. I had no backing. I had no education. I had no nothing. What am I going to tell them? Like, oh man, dude, I could make a sandwich real good. I was working on A-yard, you know, working in the kitchen, dude. Make sandwiches all day.
So what ended up happening?
So what was your first job, if you don't mind?
My first job actually was given to me by my family. My cousins, they converted their backyard into an area that can be rented out for weddings.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, beautiful. It's called the Sepulveda Home in San Pedro, and it's amazing. It's really awesome. And their business started to pick up more and more, and they had a regular caterer that would come. And when you rent the house, they just suggest, we have this catering that we work with a lot and get a good deal and this, but some people would bring their own catering and all that. But when they would use this certain catering and this company, and they started repeating business and bringing so much business to this catering company, they had this idea, they thought of the idea, and they called me and they asked me, and I was on board with it. They said, you want to wash dishes? You know, we have a little area set up in the back where they bring a dishwasher, and this is where the dishwasher does his thing, but well, tell them not to bring a dishwasher,
You
and we have an in-house dishwasher. And I was like, yes, that would be awesome.
But was it hard to accept that? Like you were like your own boss in the prison. Now you start doing dishwashing.
Oh, it was, at that point, it wasn't hard because I was denied so much and I was doing odd jobs at this point, like ripping up my cousin's backyard's grass, like just because he's like, I don't want to work and Chris needs to work, so here's $50, go work for the day, you know?
Right.
That was what I was like working to do, make money. And at this point when they were like, look, do you want this job? And I was like, yes, I want a job, period. And it was perfect for me because they had like a curtain that they covered so that it would be, you know, the dishwasher's not like out
In front of
in front of
yourself,
everybody.
yeah.
So I was like all contained and I could just work. And people were like, hey Chris, you're doing a good job, you know, I'm working really hard. You know, it's like, and I don't mind hard work. I like to work hard. Like when I was in prison, I worked in the laundry, worked in the kitchen, worked in different places, and it makes the day go by faster. It's just enjoyable.
And you're
I like
happy
it.
that you're doing
You feel
something
accomplished.
productive. Yeah.
You feel accomplished, you know. So, boom, I worked real hard, and I did it, and then they, after some time, introduced me to the company. I met all the company and it's people that work there that would run the events, and then they're like, you know, Chris, you see how Chris works hard. Why don't you give him a chance at the company? And they did. So I applied, and then I got the job there, and my mom was
Super happy. Right?
oh, dude, she was
Finally.
through the roof.
Yeah.
She was through the roof, and she used to once it started to, I would start working more and more.
Mhm.
I would come home from work and be so tired, being on my feet, like serving food all day or something, you know. And oh, it was good work, you know. I'm tired, man. My feet hurt.
But you could give her back, so it was a time for you to give her back whatever she gave you.
Dude, I was just living.
Mhm.
This was the thing that, like, I was trying to give back to her. That was the idea of what I was doing, but I was living.
Mm-hmm.
Had a small little job, wasn't really much, washing dishes, serving food, doing a little bit of catering, and it would like made my mom so happy. And I wanted to do more. I wanted to give her more. And she used to like pick on me, you know, after like, oh, my feet hurt, and she'd be like, oh, she'd laugh at me and be like, that's awesome. I love it. You know, you need to work hard, like, you know. And I just, it was
Motivation, like
it was
you had a
awesome.
reason to wake up and do something. So-
I was happy. Through prison and drug, like suicide, all this crazy madness,
Now you're at the point that you can do something that's people love it. Actually, your mom is like being so satisfied and happy.
I felt joy. Like,
And you're the one giving her happiness, which must have been like very
Yeah.
satisfying.
I never wanted to get high again. Like, I was like, I never want to do drugs again. I never want to go back to my neighborhood. Never want to hurt her again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this light that has started shining so bright, I never want to dim it ever again. And it was going good for a while. And in 2012, she passed away from cancer.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
at least it was a great 4 years, right?
Yeah, I thank God. I'm so grateful for those 4 years because I was so in and out of prison for so long and just wasting years and years and years that I'm so grateful to have those 4 years.
Yeah. I know how hard that is. I lost my mom to cancer too.
I'm very sorry. It's
I know,
very,
super
very difficult. I lost my mind. I lost all my drive. I lost all my hope. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about living. I didn't want to live anymore. I like stayed in my bedroom for like 7 months, just like never wanting to leave, thinking about killing myself every day, and I couldn't like I'm Catholic, so I believe this is my religion, what I believe, and it's my belief that you commit suicide, you're not gonna go to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the only thing that was keeping me, like I wanted to be with her, and the only thing that was keeping me from doing that is that I knew that wouldn't put me with her.
Yeah, Catholicism says you go to purgatory and stuff.
Yes. Yes. And so I for some reason I had this idea of 5 minutes, and it was just like destroying me that I wanted 5 minutes to talk to her, just 5 more minutes to talk. And I threw away so many years running the street, doing time in prison.
So many 5 minutes.
Yeah, so many 5 minutes. I just wanted this 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell apart. It destroyed me. It was a hurdle that I could not get over. And I ended up going to the gym after some time. Still very much in my depression, still falling apart. I went to the gym to try to exhaust my body. I would stay up all night. The nights were the worst. Like, dark and quiet.
You feel alone, yeah.
Feel super alone. Staring at the ceiling and the wall.
So desperate, I would say.
Yeah, so vulnerable. And so I ended up going to the gym. Like, I gotta sleep. You know, if I just move, you know, my body's gonna give out. Right? Even if it's not tonight, if I do it the next 4 days, my body's gonna crash. You know. So I went to the gym and I ended up seeing some guys out of the corner of my eye. I went to a gym in Long Beach called Metroflex.
Oh,
Metroflex.
Yes. Oh man, crazy gym. You walk in there and it's like, dude, these people are serious about their fitness. You know, you walk in, you're like, I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm in the right place. My neighbor told me like, hey, you should go to this gym in Long Beach. It's real hardcore. It's cool. And then I'm like, all right, I guess. You know, I'm like all depressed. You know, I didn't want to go to LA Fitness or something that's just not really.
Not fancy.
It's not captivating. You know.
You're trying to isolate yourself and just lose yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to lose myself and just burn my body.
I did.
Okay.
So I went to Metroflex and I ended up seeing some guys doing calisthenics.
I didn't know they do that there.
So in the back of the gym, they have this big roll-up door, and then they go because they have the gym's all full of a bunch of equipment, and then on the outside of the gym they have like an outside sledgehammers
Like
and
flipping tires.
yeah, Atlas balls and all that type of stuff. And in that doorway, that roll-up door, they have a real big long bar, like a straight bar that you can do bar work. So when I went there, I saw these guys doing pull-ups, and I had never seen them do a muscle. I'd never seen a muscle. I didn't know what a muscle up was. I didn't know there was a muscle up. Yeah, I didn't know. Like, I'm doing prison time. I've seen guys do bar
Just
work.
bench press.
Like, there's no weights. It's all body weight. So you're just doing pull-ups.
I'm saying in a prison, you just do like most of them. Like you see in the movies, they're doing.
Yeah, in a movie.
Yeah. So it was a totally different transaction.
Completely different.
But it's pretty crazy. With just body weight, you can like totally change your body.
Oh, dude, just body weight is the best. Like, I mean, now that like I'm into it, and then obviously I'm gonna say that, but it's like you can make it the most difficult, and you can make it the most easy. You know, like I can the most advanced bodybuilder. You know, I can take them through a body weight workout that will destroy them. And 75-year-old person barely can move. Take them through a body weight exercise. It's gonna help them. So body weight exercise, I believe, is amazing. But when I saw a dude do a muscle up, it blew me away. Like, I was in the gym, just lugging weight around, all depressed, and this guy did a muscle up, and I was like,
That's what I want.
I was just like, what was that? You know, like in prison, you like do head over the bar, right? Adam's apple, pull the bar, you know, every rep, full, you're like, I'm strong, you know, full range. But then like, to the hip, I was like, I was like, dude,
So
that's
concentrated. Yeah, I've seen it. There's this one guy, I forgot his name, like his ball, like shaved. This guy is like
Frank Madrano.
Yes,
Yes.
that dude is the killer. Like he does all those
Dude,
concentrated.
I ended up meeting Frank like later down the line he
Really?
works out at Metroflex.
Really?
At the
So
same-
yeah, I know him. He's really famous. Like he does all those like leg raise, like slowly.
Yes.
And you think it's fake, like the way he's
Dude,
doing it. You
The
think
way he
that-
manipulates his body weight is
And he has a great like. It's not big, but it's all shredded, like
dude,
crazy
looks like
body.
an anatomy book. It's crazy. He's super ripped. But yeah, when I saw the guy do the muscle up, I was kind of like shocked on what it was. And when he came down, the next guy grabbed the bar and did a 360 and like caught the bar again. And I was like, whoa, what is
It's
that?
a different ball game.
Yeah, this is different. Like I was like, it was like X Games fitness something. I don't know. I was like, man, that's pretty cool stuff. And one of the guys saw me watching them and was like, hey, dude, you want to try it? And I was like, I don't even know what you're doing there. Like, I don't know what that is. I'm going to hurt myself, you know? He's like, try to do a muscle up. Can you do a muscle up? You ever tried a muscle up? And I was like, I don't know what muscle up is. And he's like, when you go all the way over the bar. And I was like, I think, I must have sounded so funny, but it's like climbing up on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah. So I
just imagine,
I could not. I was never really too much of a fitness guy.
Right, to be able to do it.
Yeah, and it's a lot of upper body, a lot of wing stretch. There's a lot of technique to it. Like you can be super strong in your pull motion, but if you don't know the technique, you're not gonna go. You can't go through the bar. You have to go up and around the bar. So I was humbled quick. Like, whoa, that's pretty hard. And I hung out with them. They showed me some cool stuff. They were nice. They were and then they told me we train at Venice Beach on Sundays. Come out this Sunday, dude. So I was like, okay. And so I went to the beach. I remember I let my hair grow out a little bit because I got gang tattoos and stuff on my head. So I wanted to not give that appearance.
Yeah.
And I brought big old ice chest of waters. I wanted to show up. Hey guys, I got water. And they're like, yeah, we should Sundays around noon. Show. I'm like, okay, cool. I took my buddy Sam. Me and him go. I'm like, these guys are really cool, man. They're real strong. We're gonna go hang out. It's gonna be an awesome day. So we go to Venice Beach and we go and get there like 11. Get there early, Okay, we're gonna have a good time. 12 comes.
Oh my gosh.
1 comes.
Oh my god, they didn't show up?
Dude, they show it's like 3:30. And my buddy's already telling me like, hey dude, let's get out of here, dude.
And you're already
what are we
out,
doing?
right?
I'm
Yeah.
like, alright, I get, and then they roll up. Hey, what's up, dude? You made it.
No.
And I was like, yeah, I'm here, dude. What's up?
4 hours. I'm just struggling.
Dude, we had a blast. These guys show up to the beach, and the energy just shows up. Like the things that they're doing, they're flipping, 360s, twists, like all this stuff that from Venice Boardwalk, they just gravitate to the bars. And there's 20, 30, 40 people watching everybody. And I was like, man, this is awesome.
Did they train you?
Yeah, they showed we had an amazing day. We worked out all day, showed me little tips and tricks on this. Okay, you do your muscle up, try this, try a little, open your chest, explode a little bit. I'm like, all right, try a little bit. And then the sun goes down and they're like, all right, man, we're going to be heading out. I'm like, all right.
So from that day,
Dude, I got bummed. I remember
just stopped after.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, I want to go back home now. I want to go back to my bedroom, dude. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna come back tomorrow. They're not gonna be here tomorrow, but I can come back tomorrow. Why not? So that's what I did. I went back and just started going to the beach every day, hitting the guys up. Where are you guys at? You guys going to the beach today? No, dude, we're not gonna go to the beach. We're over at this park, Liberty Park in Cerritos. I'm like, okay. So I just started following them, And they showed me this and that, and I met Kenneth Galarzo. He's the vice president of the WCO, and being in prison, I can assess when people walk into a group. I guess I don't know. I'm not really I'm
body language and stuff.
Body language, you see how the crowd, how the masses react, hang on someone's word.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, he's not showing up and being like, I'm the leader of this group. He's not
so
speaking
humble.
that way. But you can tell he's the leader. You can tell that he's...
He has a certain magnet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is the guy I need to talk to, learn from, surround myself with.
Smart.
And so that's what I did. And he taught me. He became my mentor. He taught me how to work, how to train smarter, not just harder. Coming out of prison, I was like, yeah, more. Just do 5,000 reps. I was like, no, dude, your body's going to break. Okay? You got to strengthen your body, not break your body. So he taught me, showed me. And then it was maybe 8 months into it. And he is the vice president of the WCO. So he was like, hey, dude, we're having a competition. LA Fit Expo. And I signed you up to do the tournament. And I was like, oh, dude, come on, man. I can't do I'm not ready.
The tournament?
It was, at the time, it was 16 16-man tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it was run at that time was each person gets 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You go up there, you do a routine, and then they eliminate everybody. They
So what's
eliminate
the routine?
6.
Like, do you do push-ups, those kind of stuff, or
Do
just
muscle ups, planches, front levers.
So you got 2 minutes of showing what you know.
Gymnastics. It's pretty much gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Is we're doing the parallel bars, we're doing the high bar, the rings, the floor, and we just like mash it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And so he forced me pretty much. He was like, "You got to do it, dude, because you're my friend, and I'm putting on the competition, and we need to fill slots. Like we need 16 people to actually fill the tournament." This was 6 years ago now, almost. So the sport today is still not the biggest. So 6 years ago, it was very small. He's like, hard to fill those slots.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, dude, I signed you up. You got to do it. Come on, be my friend. Don't make me look for more people, And he's like, you're going to do great, dude. You've been working hard. And,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. So I did it, and I won it.
Nice. That
And
felt
it-
good.
Oh, dude. Okay, so
And you were hoping your mom would be there to just watch you, that you became
my
so
was
successful.
there?
my grandma was there. So my brother,
Okay.
my adopted brother, right? His wife, mother, so my sister-in-law's mother,
Mm-hmm.
right, was best friends with my mom
Oh,
as they grew up, all the way through. They went to school together,
wow.
and then they became adults, had children,
Made
and then
each
their
other.
daughter and son
Got
married
married.
and had kids.
That's cute.
Wow.
So they've known each other forever.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandma was there. Like, she's not my grandma,
Yeah.
but in the family we all call her Grandma Luera. So she's my Grandma Luera. And she was there at the competition with a couple of my cousins and stuff. And when they gave me the trophy and I won, I went over to my family and they were like, "Dang, Chris, you did amazing," and all this, all this stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, guys. I so appreciate that you guys were here." And my grandma came up to me and she put her hands on my face like this, and she said, "Your mom would be so proud of you." And that sold it for me right there. I was like, "This is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life." Like, I was already so heavily into it that I was doing it all day, every day. When I was working at the catering company, I was like doing handstands off the side when I could. Handstands, working on pull-ups in the back of a warehouse if I could. I was just constantly working out. I couldn't stop.
But that moment was so precious
When she mentioned that like your mom would be so proud, I was like, I have something.
Mm-hmm.
I have something that I can give to her, that I made her proud. Because the thing is that when she was with me those 4 years, I was so grateful for her, and we had an amazing 4 years. But the thing is that I recognized it at the time, and I used to tell her, and we used to talk about it and stuff, but I was like, I'm not doing anything. Like, I work for a catering company, and I got my bartender's license, and she's like, "Yeah, you got your bartender's license." I'm like, bartender school was like 3 weeks, and it was like matching colors and stuff. Like,
deep down, you're capable to do more.
I wanted to be able to say I did more, but I was just so grateful for her that she was talking to me and pumping me up, like,
And celebrating everything.
yeah, that like I was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and I'm over here like matching colors, like mixing liquids, intoxicating people, And so and she was just so supportive that I longed for something that would make her proud, that she was so proud of me, and she told me, "I'm proud of you, and you're doing so great." But when I won, I'd never been to a Fit Expo. The Fit Expos are intense. I walked into that place like, whoa.
Especially the LA one.
Yes. And then for me to win, and they gave me the trophy, and like I was just understanding that, like, really the expo told me, like, this is an industry, people make a living, right? There's personalities and all this stuff. And the Bella Falcone, she's huge famous fitness, and she's the one that handed me the trophy.
And you were like,
And I'm
"Okay,
like,
I'm doing something."
Yeah,
right?
this is This is amazing. And then when she said, your mom will be so proud of you. I was like, this is
What I wanted.
this is the thing. She told me for years she would put me in prison. If I stole from her, if I was high on drugs, if I came home from prison 2 years and she saw I was high, I've been home for 4 hours, she'd call my PO, call the cops, put me right back in jail. She didn't care. But she constantly would tell me, I love you. And there's something waiting for you in life. If you're willing to work for it. It's not going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
But you have to work for it. You have to be willing to work for it. And for years I was just like,
What are you talking about?
yeah, what are you talking about? Not me. You know, I love you. You're an amazing soul to believe in me. Like, I came from drug addicts. I came from this pain. The pain I inflict, the pain that I cause is because that's what I came from. And that's what I'm just generating. This is who I am. And she's like, no, it's not. You're amazing. You can change.
More than that.
I love you, but it's not me. And so when I got out and then I got this small little catering job and she just praised me for it, I was like, hey, maybe this is what she was talking about. You know? Happiness. This is happiness. But then when she passed and I fell, but then I found happiness again in just working out. And winning that competition was like accomplishment to me. It was something that if she was here, I know that she would be.
That was the thing she was talking about
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah, that was she knew it before. She knew it before.
Then you won it 3 times, like year after year, right?
So that one was just my first competition, and that was not a title at all. It was just a tournament that got me into the sport. I won that. My next competition was in Florida. I went to Florida. Actually lost that, and but I got recognized. I learned a lot in that competition, and the judges that were in that competition came up to me afterwards, and they were like, "Hey, dude, you had a bad day, but the things you're doing, like the things you're going for,
Just keep doing what
huge,
you're
bro, huge." So they told me we're having a competition online. It's with an international tournament, and so when they're looking for the U.S. representative, so what you do is you're gonna record 2 minutes of your best moves, unedited, so you can't like edit the video to look all cool and fancy. Got to be raw footage, show your ability, and then you're gonna email it into this, and then there's gonna be a lot of people emailing it in, but we're gonna choose 2 people to represent the United States to go to Moscow, Russia.
Wow, it's amazing.
And so I ended up winning that.
Nice.
Okay, so
And
that
I
was
went
your
to-
first thing.
I went to I won that, and I became the
You went to
representative.
Russia?
Yeah, I got to go to Russia. 65 countries, world championship, and I came in second place.
That's really great, actually.
Yeah, it was.
So what was the second time?
That was just when my career started to pick up. So I went to Russia, coming in second place, sent me to Norway. That went well, and then from there I did Guatemala and I did Mexico, and then I started doing much more of the Battle of the Bars throughout California, San Jose, San Diego, LA, and Chicago, Philadelphia. I was just competing and winning, and then the titles started coming in, and I won my first title in LA, and the second one in Las Vegas at Olympia, and the third one in Birmingham in the UK.
Oh, that's really impressive. Like,
Yeah.
you started like picking up after that one great accomplishment, then you started just keep going.
Once I won that first one in LA, like that was the thing that I was like, with my grandma telling me that, you know, about my mom. This is it tied it in
It's
right
kinda
there.
clicked.
That what she said. There's something waiting for you.
And you just didn't stop there. You wrote a book, right?
Yes.
About is it like pretty much your life? Like
Yes.
whatever we talked
Yes.
on a podcast was pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah. It's all about my life.
When did you write it?
When?
Uh-huh.
I published it a little over a year now.
What is the name of your book? So the people who are listening, they know.
Beyond the Bars, From Prison to the Podium.
It's available on Amazon, right?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle. I'm working on the audiobook right now.
Audiobook?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm reading it, so it's taking a little longer than I
No, it's a process. I hate it because I don't like when people say it's gonna take time. It's a process. I hate it. I want it to happen like now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I was like, dude, I'm gonna sit down and read this book.
But
you know,
you just
take me like 3 days. Pump this out.
But
Sat down for 3 hours and then played it all back and was like, that's horrible. It's like,
I want that. So what is the day like for Chris? So you're already like successful, people know you, you have like YouTube followers, you're your own man, right? So what do you do? What's a day like for you? Like what time you get up, what do you do? What's like a full day for you?
Full day, I got personal training clients. That's my 9 to 5. That's
where you're at, like if some people want to do.
I freelance all throughout LA County. So if you're interested in personal training in LA County, contact me.
Specifically in calisthenics?
Yes. I mean, that's what I focus on, but I do train people in whatever they were looking for.
Do you have your own facility or you just work in their facility and like
I have a gym. I have a couple of gyms that I work out of, but I freelance. So I mostly go to people's houses, or I do a lot of stuff at Venice Beach, at Santa Monica Beach. So those are like the facilities that like the beach that I use. Exalt Fitness in Compton is owned by a very good friend of mine. So at times, if in that area, if people need, but I freelance, so I'm not tied down to any certain location.
And was it your first year to have your own booth at Fit Expo? Because we saw you at San Diego.
Yes, it wasn't my first year. I've been with the WCO for a while. So when after I started winning the titles, and then once I published the book, is when I went through the WCO. I contacted them and was like, look, dude, I need to do more. I want to have my booth and have sell my merchandise and everything. Like this is my tattoo.
So that tatted strength thing, like are you a tattoo artist as well, or you don't do tattoo?
No, I don't do.
Okay.
I did for a while. I learned how to tattoo in prison, but I can't draw very well. I do calligraphy pretty good.
So what do you have? You have a T-shirt. You have your own book. What else do you have?
Is in merchandise.
Yes.
Hats, tank tops, bandanas, and that's about.
And I saw you were. I think what I saw and noticed you were pretty tight with Cartel Strange.
Strength Cartel, yes.
Yeah, Strength Cartel. Yeah.
Yes.
They're pretty cool people too. Like
dude, they're awesome. Big Boy is.
Big Boy, yeah. I don't know his real name, but
dude.
they call him Big Boy.
Yeah, Big Boy, dude. He's if you don't know who he is, Big Boy SC on Instagram.
I know him. I actually talked to him. He was pretty like humble. Like he's just break records for like bench press and stuff. He just go underneath of a bench and just pull it up and he does whatever rep you tell him.
He just deadlifted 1,015.
He does that and he doesn't do like belt or anything. He just goes there.
Strapless.
Yeah.
Strapless.
He doesn't do any of those.
Beltless. He hit 1,000.
And he doesn't have anything underneath. Like he just go there and just.
He's huge. He's like 345, I think. 335.
Yeah, he's crazy strong. Like he had a session with Michael Hearn, and whatever Michael Hearn was saying was like, "That's it. That's how he is."
Yeah.
So for Chris, he's been going through a lot. Like 11 years. You're gonna turn 12. How old are you, by the way? If people.
33.
33. So what's your next step? What's your goal? What's your vision from now? Like Chris want to get a house, or he wants people know more about his lifestyle. What is it next for you? What is your
I'm working on the audiobook, so I'm gonna put that out. My thing right now is speaking. Trying to talk to kids, kids mostly, but honestly anybody that will listen. I want to get that message out that change is possible. I didn't believe that I could change. I didn't think that I was capable of change, so I just stayed in what I knew. Even though it was painful and it was destroying me, destroying my family and everything around me, I stayed in it because it was the only thing I knew, and I thought that it was the only thing that I could do. So for me to accept that I was going to die in the jail cell at 14, 15 years old, and to stick through it. And then at 23, much more destroyed in the mind and deeper into my addictions and my, everything, just to be able to stop, turn around, and walk out of the woods, then I know it's doable for anybody.
It's awesome.
That's really wonderful, actually, just inspiring others. So I've been through it, just don't do the same thing. You all get a chance, just follow your path and do your best.
I'm trying to talk to kids about gangs, and because...
But do you think it's like, if you put yourself in that situation, do you think they really understand what you're saying? Because you were saying your mom was trying to tell you good things are out there,
yeah.
But then you're like, what are you talking about? Do you think they get that reaction to, like,
so
what are you talking
that's
about?
the thing, is that, like, that's why I'm trying to talk to kids about drugs, about gangs. I tell people, I talk about drug awareness and gang prevention, not so much drug prevention. I don't promote drugs in any way, but it's a reality, right? High school kids are drinking, they're vaping, they're smoking. It's happening. How many times, what have you done? Like, you've smoked, you've drank ever in your life? Has anybody ever? Right? There's a huge thing that's like, so to have more information and have them aware about what.
Because you've been through it, so if they don't.
I've been through it, and that's the thing. Is, I mean, I think that they're being influenced, right, left and right, by the hip hop music and all the music. They're talking about being drunk and having bottles in the club,
being
and
a bad person,
yeah, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for kids to try to maneuver through that type of influence.
I mean, I think some of it is escapism for them, though. I think a lot of kids don't have the love and attention they need or the support they need at home.
Or they have that hole that they're trying
and then
to
somebody
fit it out.
introduces them to this outlet where they can disconnect from what they're feeling or not feeling.
Can get loose.
Definitely.
So I wish there'd be a way to, like, address that lack of support and love in people's lives more than anything. Because you can go tell them, oh, this isn't good for you, or don't do this, or there's things better for you out there, but if they're still feeling those negative feelings or a difficult situation,
yeah,
they need to find a way to deal with that too, other
Definitely.
than doing the drugs and alcohol and things like that.
Definitely.
I think that's the challenge.
That is, I think that is definitely a challenge also. I was having a conversation recently yesterday, because we had a very bad tragedy here in Los Angeles yesterday.
The Santa Clarita thing.
Yes, and just reading bits and pieces about things, information about what happened, and that this 16-year-old kid snapped and committed this horrible act. And there's things about, like, that they said his father passed away recently, and he took it very bad.
Just those pressure, all those.
Yeah, and the thing is that
student and everything.
Exactly. I think he was a scout. I think I heard
read a girlfriend he was supposed to be happy, generally.
And I think that the mental pressures that he could have been feeling or going through, or that made him break, I think that it's not addressed so much in high school.
Or maybe he just didn't feel like he had anyone to share it with.
But that's what I'm saying, is that I don't think that mental health is addressed so much to our teenagers as much as it should. Like, we put so much pressure on our teenagers about growth. What are you going to be in your life, your career, your SATs? You're going to college, or do you do this, that? Are you keeping your grades up? Are you top of?
You have 15 different extracurriculars.
But nobody asks them
exactly.
if
What are
happy.
you doing? And or the thing is that, like, we don't make it a focus of mental health. The thing is that mental health, everybody needs it, right? Some people suffer from different mental illnesses, but the thing is that every single person that walks this earth needs to address their mental health.
And everybody reacts to it in a different way.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the very basic level, it's just stress and anxiety that almost everybody has on some level.
Everybody want to make the bill,
Exactly.
I don't know, lots of stuff.
And I don't think that it's addressed like it should. And things like what happened yesterday, or is an obvious extreme tragedy that can come from it. But at the thing, it was our common one. They numb out. They don't want to apply themselves because they're so pressured out that just gonna drink a little bit, smoke a little bit, do a little bit, do a lot, and then it snowballs.
It's not gonna hurt if
They're
you do a
becoming
little
addict.
bit. That's what they think.
But the thing is that like you're saying, they're not addressing. It's an escapism, just like that they're not being addressed in the way that they're not focused. They're not being helped in all ways. We're only helping them to be more productive, right? What are you going to do for society? What are you doing? What's your career going to be? What are you going to do? How high is your tax bracket?
Right.
Right?
You never ask them, like, are you happy? Like, how happy are you in
No, it's
life?
too much
Like,
pressure.
How do you feel inside?
yeah, how do you feel? Like,
How do you feel? Like, not about what's going on. What is your emotion? How do you feel in the moment you open your eyes?
right.
Or just giving them an identity beyond what their grades
That's
might
why
be,
it's
or
just
beyond
like
what their-
meeting new people is kind of like awkward because what do you do? So is it good money? Like, do you have a house? What's your car? That's the common conversation that you get like so like disgusted. Like, everyone you meet, did you go to college? What's your degree? Oh, okay. How much do you make a year? Like, dude, there are tons of things. Nobody asks you, are you happy? Like, how's life treating you?
Yeah.
There's no question like that. Even your own like family, parents, they don't
Happy,
address that.
healthy,
Yeah. So
It's just society, like mental health, I think, is not at the level of being addressed as I think it should be, or I feel that it should be.
So you mentioned when we were talking before the podcast, you said you have 2 dogs, right? So what do you do for hobby? Do you like enjoy time with your dogs? What is a day for you when you have a day off, like you don't have clients? What do you do when you have nothing to do?
I soak, like play with my dogs. Like I'm like usually training a lot. I like to soak and sauna. Like that's my just decompress from like the
All the pressure?
Yes, it's just like we were talking right now. Take a second, meditate, be inside your own head, talk to yourself. Like it's hard to talk to society and be people, right? It's like because it's hard to talk to yourself. Do you ever talk to yourself? And not like when people if you ask yourself, hey, you ever talk to yourself? Like, no, dude, I'm not crazy.
No.
I don't
You
talk to
can't
myself.
Just
But
meditating.
Yeah, you're like
Meditate.
going through the day, like start like
going
scanning
through your
for-
mental files, right? What happened today?
Yeah.
How did it affect you?
Yeah.
Do you look at your day activities and see that how am I going to feel tomorrow with what I went through today? Because it's going to affect you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. So could you give us 3 pieces of advice that you would give our listeners or people who maybe struggled or are stuck in a dark place or things like that?
Keep hope alive. That's like by any means, if you can keep hope alive, telling yourself that I hope for this, I hope for that, but if I believe, right? Keep that belief, that hope, keep that flame alive. It's gonna get dark. Things get dark in life. When I was suicidal, thinking about my mom, and she was no longer there. She was my beacon, right? That was when I was a drug addict and I was dark and I was doing all that. She was the one that was like, "It's okay, you can change. It's gonna be okay." And I was like, "Nah."
You don't know what you're talking
But just to hear that, it's there, right? And now that she was gone, it was only like, maybe tomorrow, maybe this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hope
I'll
is
be
a very
okay.
powerful thing, even if it's just a little bit.
It's
Very powerful.
keeps you moving. Keeps you moving. Believe that you can change. Believe in yourself, which is cheesy. It's hard to believe in yourself, but it's
No, it's
It's
hard.
a
It's like
Yeah.
fake it till you
Very-
make it, pretty much.
it's a very difficult thing.
I think a lot of people don't believe. I even have trouble sometimes believing certain things. I know when I set my mind to, he's laughing because he knows it's my issue, but like if I set my mind to something, I do it. But sometimes I think you're scared to believe in yourself too.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
yeah.
That was the thing that was so difficult with myself. Like I was saying earlier, that like I couldn't look a 17-year-old kid in the eye. That I walked on prison yards and in a different situation, I'd scare the hell out of this kid. Right? We walk in different scenarios. This dude's scaring the hell out of me.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Right. So second thing,
That was
that
the
was the
third.
first.
That was second.
There was hope.
Hope and then believe in yourself.
Believe in
Believing
yourself was the third
Believe
thing.
that
Yeah.
believing in yourself, like change is possible. And the third is keep moving. Like keep moving. A body in motion stays in motion. You're gonna feel good if you wake up, stretch for 10 minutes, you're going to feel different. If you can't work out every day, right, I would say work out every day. But if you cannot work out, move, stretch, right? Just move. Think about movement. If you sit down on your couch and you're like, at the end of the day, and you're like, oh, I didn't work out today.
Get up.
I need to get up. I need to do something, right? But you're like, oh, but you know what? I need to do some stuff in the house. I need to do laundry.
Those are
And
movements, yeah.
get up. If it's upstairs, get up, go walk around, go up and down the stairs. Think about it that you know what? I can call it a day right now, but let me move a little bit. Because even if it's not something that you're like exercising, if it is just a regular house chore of
Getting
like,
a job done.
but if you're thinking about it consciously, like, I need to move every day and I need to move today. And then this laundry thing or the dog or the dishes or vacuuming, whatever got you moving, and you recognize that, hey, I'm moving, right? Maybe you're in a little cheater way, but like, but you're moving. Let it snowball.
Yeah, it changes your energy.
Small goals.
Mm-hmm.
Small goals. Let yourself feel good. Stop beating yourself up. Because that's one big thing about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I doubt myself. I beat myself up. I'm not doing enough. Constantly wanting to do more.
Yeah.
My mind goes 100 miles an hour, so I'm just like, I can do more. I can do more.
But you can do more. I mean, we believe that too. Like, we're constantly looking for more to do, but I think the key is also being in the moment as well.
Being in the moment is a huge, powerful thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a very good friend of mine. He goes by Shark B&B on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He's a boxing coach at Box and Burn in Santa Monica. He's been a fan of mine. He came and bought my book from the expo, not San Diego, LA, and contacted me afterwards about personal training. He's like, hey man, you're doing personal training in LA. I'd love to train with you. And I'm like, yeah. Found out that he read my book, loved my book, and that he's been following me for like 4 years. I'm like, dang, dude, that's awesome, right? So we started working out, and then right after we met, after we started training, he became my boxing coach. I became his calisthenic coach. Then we found out that he was diagnosed stage 3 lymphoma.
Wow.
Yeah.
28 years old.
That's crazy.
And he's an inspiration. He's ready to fight. He hasn't doubted himself or his ability to win this since it started. And he is the one that like came into my life recently. We've been friends now for a few months, 3 months, 4 months now. But since the moment before, like the moment we met, before he knew that he was sick, and even to this today, he's like, I'm happy for today. Happy for this moment that I have. The past is gone, can't go back.
Yeah.
The future is not here yet. You're not guaranteed it. All you really have is right now.
It's true.
This present moment is the only thing you have.
Yeah.
And you can hate it, you can love it, you can make the most of it. It's up to you.
Right.